Hi there, guys. Welcome to the Area JB podcast. This is just another episode where I have two of my friends on and two of my colleagues, if you will, Dylan, Duncan, and PJ. These guys both worked on two films together, Aletheia and our newest film coming out very soon, Multiple Choices. PJ was the director of both of these films, and Dylan Duncan was the director of photography on both of these films, and Aletheia is one of my favorite student films to this day. It's just a totally remarkable, fantastic film. Go look it up. I'll also have the link on for a link of that film on all services and all streaming services. Blah 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 blah. Guys, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome. So yeah, these guys I go to school with at Columbia College in Chicago, and I got the pleasure of meeting Dylan pretty early on, and PJ, I met at a screening of Aletheia, and we were just kind of interested in working with each other. So Dylan, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Oh, me? Okay, so I'm from East Palo Alto, California. Born and raised. I don't know. I got into film pretty early on. I remember my earliest memories are kind of just rocking around with my camera, just seeing whatever I can record.
Sure.
Kind of talking to myself. And since that developed into like a deeper love of just just making stuff, and that's all I
Yeah,
want to do.
absolutely. No, totally. I can totally feel that. And PJ, how about yourself?
My story is quite interesting. Is that originally I was going for business management, and then I would say, and then changed toward to game design, and then I was like, it doesn't work for me because every time I play games, I always focus more on the story and stuff, like the
Sure.
actual gameplay stuff. And I wasn't sure at that time until I actually played The Last of Us and watch Parasite and Rom.
Hmm.
I think it's around 2019. That's when I was like, all right, I'll give film a try. But like, who knows what's gonna happen?
Right. All right. So yeah, these guys worked on Aletheia together, and I unfortunately was not able to be on the set of that, but I was on the set as an assistant director, casting director, really just a lot of things because it's a student film, and you kind of just are a jack of all trades when you're on student films. Um, but I am really interested, and I'm sure everybody else is really interested to kind of hear what the process of making Aletheia was like for you guys, because I've heard stories myself, and it was they're really cool to hear about. So I'm curious if you guys have any stories from that.
Yeah. When I first so I met PJ. PJ was in my first year production class, and we kind of just like I don't know. He was like I every week for the first couple of parts of the semester we didn't really talk to each other until like one day. I heard him talking about I just saw not in the movie Love. I just saw Chungking Express, and he
Hmm.
was talking about the director. Who's the name of the director? Is
Wong Kar Wai.
Yeah,
Wong
Wong
Kar
Kar Wai.
Wai. Me, like right before I left California, I saw Chunking Express with a couple of my friends, and it kind of and like I was just it blew me away. And he was the first person to bring it up in the class. I'm like, yo, I just saw that Chunking Express, and since then, we've kind of bonded over that.
Yeah,
But the
absolutely.
story about Aletheia specifically, it started off as a class project, as with a couple of us. So it's me, PJ, our friend Ngozi, and our friend Naomi. We all wanted to do a final project together,
Hmm.
and the project was supposed to be it was only supposed to be about 5 minutes long, but since there were like four of us, just multiply that by four, we made a 20-minute short film,
Right.
and
No,
it was
it's more like 13 minutes.
13 minutes, but we had 20 minutes allotted of time, just because
Oh
it
yeah.
was five, because of course, each person's project was be 5 minutes type stuff. So yeah, but the actual process of making Alethea was nothing like I ever tried. It was my first time away from home. It was very different making a film with people I've never met before because it's very much I'm not used to doing no, it's nothing doing class projects is nothing new for me, especially when it's film, because that's all I did throughout high school. But
Sure.
to do it with people you've never really met before and kind of like bonding over that was very, very special, and it was very fun. A lot of long nights.
Hmm.
It was very, very, very cold filming in the fall and winter of Chicago, but it was very. It was. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't change anything about it. It was super fun. I had such a blast working on that film.
No, absolutely. A lot of those experiences when you're making these films with not the best resources and with people you just kind of meet, you really you meet a lot of really great people. And those process and that process of making something together and making something that's really remarkable, it can really be kind of an unforgettable experience. And that's what I learned with both of you guys when we were making multiple choices. So I think that's totally spot on. PJ, what about yourself?
Oh, so it's quite interesting. Is that so? The origin of the story is that my friend told me about the idea of the guy who, who like just lost his like wife or his girlfriend, and then realized it's himself who's the one who murdered her. So it's quite interesting to me because I mean, first of all, is that it's I think it's a common trope in film because we have films like Memento, we have
Mm-hmm.
films like Memoir of of Murderer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's also because like that idea is not hard to do. Like at least in terms of scale, we can actually do it.
Sure.
So I started do it when I was in high school, like my first year in America.
Mm-hmm.
I did it, and then when we finished it, I hated it.
Right.
And then I was like, during no Colombia, my first year in Colombia, I was like, all right, how about I remake this one, but like with a proper crew, with like remake story. I'm gonna handling like the editing, everything by myself, instead of like giving to other people.
Sure.
Because I'm a person has a tendency to like to control stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because if I send something wrong,
Big micromanager. Big
Yeah.
micromanager.
yeah. So it's like, no, I want to control everything.
Sure.
It's just my tendency. And then the start of like Alita is like I wrote the script. I wrote the first draft to the 10th one, and that's I at the time I considered to be the final draft. I talked to people like in the Asian actors community. I managed to like get two of the actors to work with. But
Mm-hmm.
the funny thing is that even though I gave them the script, right? But then when I read the script again,
Mm-hmm.
I said I don't like this. I'm, I asked them, all right, on the set, feel free to do whatever the fuck you want,
Right.
but it's like keep the same blueprints, but feel free to like make something different.
Yeah, no, just kind of a little bit of creative freedom, but obviously staying within the
Yeah,
borders of the script.
yeah, and then we I had like the first obstacle, which is we couldn't find a third actor that can actually speak proper Vietnamese in
Sure.
Chicago.
Hmm.
So I was like, ah, crap. You know what? I'll do it.
Right.
Like you know, what can happen? You
No,
know.
absolutely.
And then it turns out, which I don't know. I'm not a good actor, but I try my best in it. And things that with Dylan's, I show him the script. The original script. He's like, all right, this has too many locations. We have to strip it down. Otherwise, we're gonna like die in cold
Yeah,
because
you'll
like
be all
we
over
have
the
to move a
place.
lot.
Hmm.
So we cut some parts of story to match like time to match like the shooting schedule well.
Hmm.
And when we got there, so unsurprisingly, I left my script at home, and I left my shot list, I left my storyboard at home. So
Right.
I told Dylan, all right, just trust me, put the camera on this angle, and just follow my lead. And like it like I said, I have a tendency to control stuff.
Hmm.
So it's like in the end it works well because like is like I give the way that I work with DP is that all right, I give him the storyboard, I give him all right my description of the mood of how like the shot flows.
Right.
The DP feel free to use it as a blueprint, and
Hmm.
feel free to like change anything from the lighting, or change from like how like the composition is doing, how the blocking works.
Yeah.
So then show to me, I say, all right, if it like it, if it like make the story better, if the image can make the audience like, all right, I get what's going on without any dialogue. All right, put it on. So we just go with that, and it's kind of like how I say, because we just go with the flow. It's like, all right, just shoot it when we feel like it.
Right.
It's like no script, no nothing, just no. When we feel like, all right, we on the mood to do it, then we're gonna shoot it,
Mhm.
which it elevate well. And then during the editing, which is funny, um, is that the teacher asked us to show what we got,
Mhm.
but the rough cut, like we finished the rough cut, but instead it was rough, and then I was like,
Right.
all right, I showed the teacher the trailer, which had a different mood, and she liked it,
Mhm.
and then we do, and then like I finished like I would say on the seventh cut, yeah, on that, and I gave it to the colorist, and then I gave it to the sound guy,
Mhm.
but but then the things about the footage itself it was shot on the S-Log 3, like on the Sony mirrorless camera, so which is quite hard. It's an 8-bit like footage. It's
Yeah.
really hard to like grade that because the data in the footage is so little.
Mhm.
So he didn't finish that on time. I was like, all right, just make it black and white, keep the six cut, and do some basic sound, and
Mhm.
put some like classical music and put it on the class.
Right.
So we kind of use it as like the test screening, and then first of all is that all right, the I asked the class that all right, I mean in the class at the time when we compare our project to like to amongst our peers, we already know it's like on another level. Like
Sure.
Dylan and I, when we look at each other, we're like, yeah, oh, yeah, we definitely killed this.
Oh no, there. I think it was. It's. I think it's so surprising because I don't know. I'm not one to toot my own horn, but like I think I think everyone kind of is at our own point. I think I was at a point where I would want to challenge myself. Like I think this filming Aletheia was definitely was me challenging myself because being a full time student on top of shooting probably 3-4 times a week, still trying to
Mhm.
do homework, and then on top of trying to get a feel for a new situation because I've never. This is my first time outside. Of, I'm 1,000 miles away from home.
Right.
I don't. I didn't really know too many people, so it was just me, PJ. I got really close with his roommates and our friend Ngozi, and we had a great
Mhm.
time. We had a great time making the film. But like it was just so satisfying because you see a lot because I think in a first because like no one really try. It's like I don't want to say no one really tries their hardest in like a first year in a first year course because like it's a lot of people who still like either still like, people who don't really have much experience or like
Right.
they really don't are still trying to get a feel for what they want to do in the aspect of film.
Mhm.
I think I had the I've always been I knew I had a passion for cinematography. I kind of like went through this stuff. I tried directing some short films in high school, yada yada yada, but like it wasn't really the most fun I had was being behind the camera. My
Absolutely.
my favorite thing to do is to work with people who like to create things, and I'll let me. I tell PJ, you don't got to tell me anything. Let me be your eyes. Tell me what you want. Tell me where to put the camera. Tell me what you want the mood to be. I'm gonna put the camera in this position. Denotes power. Yada yada yada. You
Right.
know. Let's make something happen. And I think
Mhm.
I'm not really. I get. It's really fun just working with people who are very passionate about that. And I think working and seeing that pay off because it's like you see people who have these are some people's first project they've ever done editing or maybe even filming something. And
True.
for us, we spent we spent like weeks on end working on this project, and
Mhm.
it really showed. So it's not like oh we're better than like oh this is a better product. PJ might say that. Hey I might not say that, but hey I agree with them type stuff. So
The thing,
but it was a yeah it was really good to see kind of we did feel that our work kind of stood out from the pack. It
Absolutely.
didn't.
I mean,
Hey, that first cut you saw in class may not have looked that they may not look the same way because my god it was terrible. But
right.
that was only because they had these terrible monitors because the monitors at school are
oh
Yeah. Yeah.
those terrible projectors, and especially
Mhm.
it was in black and white, so it was just like you couldn't even tell what was happening half the time
Right. No. Yeah.
unless it was like super overexposed, then you're
Uh-huh.
not gonna see it. But
No.
it did but it was really uh it was a blast kind of showing I forgot how fun it was kind of like working so hard and then showcasing that with all your peers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
So, oh, go ahead, PJ.
So that was only half of the story.
Oh my goodness.
So
Okay. So let's move on momentarily because I do want to address one more thing. So when I worked with PJ for the first time, uh, it was a unique experience to say the least. And there was an acclimation process just to getting used to working with someone because BJ has a very unique directing style. And he's just kind of a unique person in its own. And I know
You can say difficult. You can say don't be scared to say difficult.
it's difficult working with somebody new. So I'll ask you this, Dylan. When you worked with PJ for the first time, how was that acclimation process? Tell me a little bit about that.
Um, it was man, I don't know. It was very natural, to be honest. Like it felt very natural because like I'm like, okay, this kid obviously has like good taste because
Yeah.
I've never really I like he's like I think the fact that he was super into Wong Kar Wai, Park
Hmm.
Chan Wook, a lot of like these Asian directors, and I at the time when we were first getting to know each other, he was like putting me on. Like I remember our first time like hanging out. I remember like he showed me like, the first couple drafts of Aletheia,
Hmm.
and right before, and but like he didn't show me. He showed me the first drafts of Aletheia after we watched In the Mood for Love over at my apartment. And I
Right.
remember he was just. I remember after the movie, he was like for weeks. He was like, "Dude, we gotta watch this movie. We gotta watch this movie. You're gonna love In the Mood for Love." And he was right.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like bonding over a film and then making stuff. Because I think there was in Aletheia. There's this one in the scene where PJ's in it. Uh, there's this overhead light that was like it was very reminiscent of "In the Mood for Love," and I'm
Hmm.
like, "Yo, PJ, get that! We need some smoke in here, bro. We need some smoke in here.
Yeah.
I need that slow pan
Right.
the conversation." And I think so it's indicative, but I think that process of working with someone new in that kind of acclimation period where you don't really know how you guys kind of mesh and bond together. I think that first Alethea, by all means, I think we had so much fun working on that project, but we both knew this was the beginning of something. Like
Yeah.
we're always looking for PJ and I are always looking towards the next one. How could we we push each other to make iron sharpens iron, as they say. It's like we both. I
Absolutely.
feel like I want to become a better cinematographer, and PJ wants to become a better director, and we kind of build off of each other. And we try. And I think especially with this last project, multiple choices, we try to surround ourselves with people who are passionate,
Absolutely.
who want to be who are interested in making and just being better and just like and just having fun first and foremost. I think that was like I think you can attest to that. I'm like what we get of course when we're surrounded by a bunch of people like a lot of different personalities.
Hmm.
Things kind of get a little iffy, and I was always kind of worried about the morale. I'm a big morale guy. I played
Yeah.
sports all my life.
Hmm.
So I can unless when morale's low, I'm trying to be the dude that picks us up.
Sure.
But I think
No.
that
Yeah.
acclimation period was crucial. But
Hmm.
it was definitely forged by fire.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember our first 2 days on production for multiple choices, and I got a call from PJ after our second day of production, and he just kind of gave me the lowdown of how he works on a production and I got to compare that to with how I work on a production, and it humbled me a little bit because I'm used to being the guy who's in charge. I'm the director of every film that I've worked on, and that was probably my second film that I had. Actually, that might have been my first film that I was a legitimate assistant director from the start. Because usually I'm thrust into that position when they don't show up, blah 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 blah. And I just kind of remember that after that second day.
No, yo, you cut out.
Oh no, that's tragic. You have me now, right?
Hey, yeah, we got you. Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, it was that second day, and he just kind of gave me that call and just gave me the lowdown, and everything really changed, and that's kind of when I gained my total and complete respect for PJ as a director, and I think that was just a good moment. We just kind of connected and were able to work together pretty well from the rest of the way. So yeah, that acclimation process is always really unique. So PJ, tell me a little bit about multiple choices. Just pick a topic and just kind of go for it. Maybe your some of your experiences with working with your actors, because I know that was always working with your actors. Actually, let's go with that. How was working with your actors on multiple choices for you?
I would say it's quite difficult to work with like not they're not amateur they're not even amateurs, they're just like starting out.
Sure.
So the thing is that for so for example, I work with professional actor before. So when you show him the material and you explain, you talk and you discuss the story to them. All right, they
Mhm.
know right away what they need to do on set, on production. And maybe there's something that you don't like, and you just tell them straight. All right, can you be a little bit like just keep it down a little bit,
Right.
so like they get it right away. But
Mhm.
with like with these like even non-amateur actors, that you have to like not just be straightforward to them, you have to like keep them in the mood of like in the mood of the character all the time.
Sure.
It's like, all right, I have to explain to you like during pre-production, on production, all right, what's the scene is about, how does this character feel, why this so impactful to him,
Mhm.
why does he change his behavior like that. So you have to like constantly remind them of like, all right, of the character they're in.
Mhm.
Otherwise it's just, it just their performance is just not there. Like, I mean, that's quite understandable because they're still studying. So, I mean, it's interesting to work with them, and it's also like I learn a lot with like from I learn a lot in terms of working with like actors from multiple choice. That sometimes you have to. It's like you with actor like you don't need to be like a guy who shout or the guy to like say
No.
stuff.
No, yeah,
You have to be like, how can I say, you have to be like sit down with them. All
mhm.
right, get on the same, conversation with them or on the same mood with them,
Mhm.
just to like, all right, just to ease them into the material itself.
Yeah. No, I can totally agree with that. And I think every actor is really just different in a multitude of ways. And I think that was probably one of my favorite things when working with um, our guys like Max and like Noah, Patrick. And when Patrick came along, I'd never met him, and the first day that he was there, I think it was the first day of production. In fact, I think that's actually exactly how that went. So we kind of went through a lot getting into the first day of production, right before the first day of production. So I think we were all really stressed out, but somehow we managed a way to keep communication really strong with these actors and just kind of make sure that they felt like they were in a safe space when really everything around us just kind of was really on the verge of collapsing, especially shooting guerrilla style in a place that we weren't really allowed to shoot in, which
Allegedly,
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 allegedly.
allegedly.
I mean, but we would show up. We'd set up an entire production, and not a single soul would stop us. I think we had
And
one.
until we got that, until we were shooting it during I think was it I think it was during freshman incoming freshman tours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's the only time we really got in. But other than that, we were there what every Saturday for the entire month
every
of April. So
every week.
every Sat
May. I think it's May, right?
no, I think it was
Yes,
April because we left
it
him.
was
We left.
Oh,
yeah,
It
it
was
was
all of it.
April,
We were no,
and
we were together every weekend for the entirety for an entire month for
and Fridays.
for a
Yeah, I mean,
student project, which is even
yeah.
crazy to think about. And I
Mhm.
think I know I can't really I know PJ brought it up a little bit, but I think he talked about working with, I think especially working, I think what he didn't tell you is that like we because like on Aletheia and multiple choices are two very very different projects. You
Sure.
know, Aletheia was me, PJ, and Gozi. Naomi would help with props and sound a little bit. She was around sometimes whenever we could, and and then but we had like it was only we only had two act we was only like besides PJ playing one role,
Mhm.
we only had it was only two actors,
Right.
you know. And so to trash two actors which he hired, we paid,
Mhm.
we hired two paid actors who do this, like they're accomplished in their own rights, and then
Right.
going back to shoot with our peers was very, I think as especially as a director, kind of like, okay, oh man, I've worked with, it's like especially being an amateur director, working with experienced actor. I think it must have been harder for the actors to work with the director with an
Right.
unexperienced director. But I think that definitely taught him a lot on how to work with directors, because I think I watched him with with our actors, and then to kind of do that, and then to be working with an entire cast of amateur actors or student actors. Let's not call them amateurs because they're students. We're all because no one's really an amateur. We're trying to build and learn on that. But
Yeah.
in the sense, but I think I can only imagine how difficult that was, and I think I'm so glad I didn't have to direct. Like I think that there's so many moments where I can just see PJ just like up till 3 4 in the morning ripping his hair out. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey man, I bet. Hey man, I'm sorry you have to go through all that, but I know that footage looks nice though. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
No,
You
man, these
know.
late nights, I'd wake up in the morning with calls from PJ at like 3 and 4 and sometimes 5 in the morning, just like saying like, "Hey, we gotta completely scrap this day and like change location and reschedule this entire day to another day." And it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna just turn my phone off and go back to bed.
Oh no. Okay. No. I think. Oh no. I think I know. You talked about that first conversation that you had with PJ when
Yeah.
everything sunk in. What you
Hmm.
didn't know was behind the scenes what happened. So PJ, I think we were getting to those first couple days. It's like I think like, PJ was like, all right. PJ called me. He's like, yo, bro, your homie, your friend, it's like Jackson is kind of stepping on my toes a little bit, man. I don't know what to, I don't know how to deal with it. I'm like, why are you telling me? Tell him, bro. It's like I don't know why you're telling me. It's like you're not. It's like it does no good. If you're gonna, it's like it's not. I wouldn't say complaining. It's just like venting a little bit, because he
Right.
wasn't saying anything bad about you. It's like, man, I don't know how to work with this person. Yada yada yada. I'm like, why are you telling me, bro? We're supposed to be a team. You doing this doesn't. I don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with this because Jackson. Hey, Jackson. If I ask for Jackson I have to. My relationship with you is like, okay, Jackson, hand me that lens. Which one? That one. Okay, cool, got it. Versus like, okay, Jackson, go prep the actors. What do I do? And it's like, okay, me and I think just it was such an experience, kind of just like watching from the sidelines, because like,
Yeah.
especially like during those setup days where we would be, it would be me and Porter. I'll be helping Porter build the camera and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And you guys are just like having just like deliberating, and like we get before we start our production, we are that first morning production meeting before every shoot. That was it. But I think it was I don't know. That just that whole experience was definitely fun to watch, especially because like I remember inviting you to the screening of Aletheia. I'm like,
Yep.
yo,
Yep.
my friend Jackson, I definitely because I was telling PJ like, yo, for this next project though, we gotta bro invite everyone to this screening, bro. We gotta get that. We don't. Hey, we can talk about the trip to that to Ngodi's place for the first time. That's a whole other story though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No. Um. So I just want to mention real quick. I this is my first time using this recording website, so I think we might have 2 minutes left. We're gonna go and see what happens. But yeah, no. Getting back on topic. No, I think just kind of working with you guys is a totally different experience, but kind of working and seeing you guys work with our actors and work with our crew and seeing how crazy helpful our PAs were. I mean, I was so impressed with how
shout out
to,
Sam.
yeah, Sam. I mean, to drop another name, Blake.
Oh,
Um,
Big Black, bro.
I
That's
mean,
the homie.
he was a fantastic PA on set, and he's going to actually be assistant directing my newest film that is in some some early stages of pre-production. But I mean, there was not a single person that didn't go in. Like if they were not there, the production probably would have been totally and completely different. I like, these guys were always saying yes and to so many of our suggestions, and they would even chip in a little bit. I mean, there was not a single moment where they weren't being incredibly helpful. So and yeah, there were a handful of people that were just fantastic. But I don't necessarily have any questions. Would you guys like to do some self promotion real quick for any
Well, we
others?
only got 30 seconds left, right?
Yeah, so go for it. I'll just say something real quick. Area JB shirts, they're gonna be
Get that
out.
merch. Get that merch.
Yeah,
Get that
the merch.
merch.
They're gonna be out probably when this episode is out. We've got a lot. We've got some new lines coming out, so just go ahead and go to the areajb.com, areajbfilms.com, and go buy your stuff right now. You guys, 20 seconds hypothetically. Anything you got to say?
Okay, hold on. Aletheia. Aletheia. Multiple choices coming soon. Go watch
Yeah.
Aletheia on
Go watch
YouTube.
Aletheia.
Oh
PLS
Yes.
yeah,
Productions.
Alita just got selected into a short film fest in Vietnam.
Nice. Yeah, we're getting some wins, man. Okay, we're gonna do a bit of a countdown here. Hey, it's still going. There we go. Okay. Glad we got some promotionals out of the way. So yeah, can we get a bit of an update on where multiple choices at this point? Where we, I mean,
Yeah,
we're
hey,
Uh,
hey, I'm waiting for
mo-
this too. I want to hear
yeah,
this
mo,
too.
I'm
mo,
genuinely curious.
so multiple choice currently on its third cut.
Okay,
Like me and the editor, we both agree that we have to do at least 7 cut of this film
right.
because like this film is surprising. I mean, unsurprisingly, extremely hard to edit.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's like because like the connection between each shot is so disjointed. We have to do some creative way to do it. Like shout out to my editor. Like he did a lot of trick that I didn't even think is possible.
Hmm.
Like for example, there's like one scene, especially I would say I don't want to spoil it, but there's one scene where it's supposed to be one take, and
Hmm.
then the guy just do like some different cut, and for example, for some reason is elevate the story
Right.
even more, and it's also like it still keep the pacing of the film surprisingly. So I mean like with this guy's I don't know what to say. He's a pretty good editor to say to say the least.
wait, is it
um,
Jimmy or is it, Jimmy's the colorist?
Jimmy's the colorist, but
Okay, whatever.
Jimmy's is gonna do parts of the color grading, but the main colorist is in another different person.
Okay.
Yeah, due to some scheduling stuff, where we have to find another colorist. But also is that we have to like take our time with this project because like we want to make sure everything is like exactly right. Like I said, this film is like in terms of editing, this film's like either it's gonna if we don't take our time, it's gonna be really really bad. So
Hmm.
we have to like polish it from from beginning to the end.
Yeah. No,
So
absolutely. And I don't want to step on my own feet here, but there's going to be a premiere for this film. So if you're listening, just kind of keep your heads up. You'll get updates on when this is going to be coming out and when there's going to be an official private premiere of this film. And we're trying to get this at the Music Box Theater in Chicago to get a legitimate theater release for this, or a private screening theater release. So if you would like to come to this, just let us know. RSVP. It will be in Chicago. The date is TBD though. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Um, Go on, guys. Sorry.
so with this is like we managed to have like a original score for this film.
Hmm.
So, because like when I write the script, I was like, there's no way we're gonna use like typical score from the internet for this. We have to get like like a composer for this. So surprisingly, one of our producer and also one of the actors in Goji, like he connect me to this musician. He's still amateur, but his stuff is pretty good. I think Jackson has seen part of it, like has listened to parts of it, and
Yeah.
one of the scores in the teaser actually, which I'm still working on. And also is that the foley and mixing of this film is going to be way different from Aletheia. So
In what
the
way?
Thank God.
in ways that so in Alita, we didn't do a proper foley. We just basically we used like the guy used like not like the stock, but in his company there's like the whole list of sound that they
Hmm.
already like done. So he put that in Alita. So for this film is that I told him, all right, I need you to do a proper foley for this because with the sound of the film, we have to make it feels like, for example, the stepping on the normal on like the rock or stepping on like the wood floor is it sounds entirely different. So you have to do your own foley for this, otherwise it just doesn't work because sounds like a huge part of film, and I want the audience to like they have to feel like the rushing of like the clap or something like
Yeah,
that.
you want complete immersion for your film.
Yeah,
That's totally understandable.
yeah.
So I'll ask you this, PJ and Dylan. You can totally chime in on this. Um, Obviously, the world didn't really want to agree with us when we were making multiple choices. Everything would just kind of go wrong. People would get sick. I mean, it just like, and we still persevered, but the act of persevering through this process was a very unique process. So tell me about some of the things that you just kind of had to go through when, like, actors would get sick and we'd have to delay production, or blah 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 blah. Just some of these crazy things that would happen, and it would kind of get in our way, and we just kind of made our way through somehow. So if there's any specific things that you can remember, go ahead and talk about that, any of you.
So,
Uh,
oh, you go first then.
okay. Okay. Let's see here. Specifically, very specifically, I remember, so we shot this. Shot this in April. This was right. I remember this is right after spring break. It was the week. It
Yeah.
was the week after spring break. Like, literally our first week back. That first
Hmm.
weekend after our first week back to school, and I remember, like, I think it was like that Wednesday. We were supposed to start shooting Friday,
Hmm.
or I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I think my parents came out for spring break. They came to Chicago, and then
Yeah.
when they got back home, my dad tested positive for COVID, and I
Oh,
was like, already, I was kind of feeling sick a couple days prior. I'm like, am I really about to miss the first week of production? And I
right.
just remember, like, oh my goodness, so, like, I was dealing with that, and then on top of that, our lead actress had to drop out, and
Hmm.
it's like, so
Yeah, no, it was less than
yeah.
24 hours before first shot, and we just kind of had to we had no choice because it was it was such an unfortunate piece of timing to when we were shooting this. The way our production schedule worked and the way the rest of our school year semester worked is we were going to shoot every weekend because that's how we could really line up how everybody's timings and schedules worked with our production, and how the timing works perfectly because we were left with probably a week or 2 weeks before we had to leave Chicago back home because the semester had ended. So when she had gotten sick, we unfortunately, and all of us cringed thinking about this, I'm sure, but we had to let her go at the last second. I remember as the casting director with PJ and Ngozi, we were working with these actors, and she was a part of it, and we were kind of struggling to find our Alex, who she was playing, and when she did her first cold read, she was a little shy, but I remember being like, absolutely, she's the one. This is going to work perfectly. I don't even have to give the second thought. And actually, they were the only. It was Noah, Max, and herself, and they were all perfect together. I was very excited to have them three there because they were just the perfect cast. But it just kind of, the cards weren't lined up correctly, and we had to let her go at the last second because it was either keep her on and delay the film to like next semester, which was which was going to be wait for the summer and then have it in the fall semester, which we just couldn't do, or let her go and recast, and that's eventually what we had to do. But I know that just kind of was a very stressful situation, especially since we were less than 24 hours from our first day. Do you guys have any thoughts on that and hearing that news at the last second?
It's like I think I was like I was at work actually because I have part time job. I was like, and she just texted me. She's like, "Oh, I think I have COVID." I was like, "No, you don't have COVID."
Hey, that's PJ in a nutshell right there. Hey, I don't think. Oh, I think, okay. Knowing PJ, his biggest pet peeve is last minute cancellation. He
Yeah,
hates that
no,
stuff, and
absolutely.
I'm so glad he didn't bite her head off. Like, I'm so grateful that first and foremost, all I want to say is that, like, I'm actually, I was like blown away at the fact that we shot every single weekend for an entire month. Like, these
Mhm.
actors and, like, these crew were
Oh my god.
so gracious
Mhm.
to roll with us through, like, okay, we're shooting this scene this day. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind, we have to shoot this scene next week because we can't shoot this and that. Okay, this scene doesn't make sense. We had to rewrite that. Okay, me, PJ, Jackson, and Porter, we have to go work on the. We have to go work on this. We have to redo the shot list and the screen.
Yeah.
To redo the shot list.
No, I
Oh
mean,
no,
if
it
you
was
want to talk flexibility, the actors are the kings of flexibility on the multiple choices set
I'm
because
so grateful. I'm
no,
so grateful
absolutely.
that we had
And I
such
mean,
amazing people with us.
they would have, moments of frustration, and gosh, if I was in their situations,
Rightfully
I
so. Rightfully
would have
so.
my moments of being
Oh
like,
my goodness.
why the fuck are these three guys arguing for the last 2 hours when we could just be shooting this movie and I could go
Yep.
home and do my
Yep.
homework and go to sleep? but I mean, and I would constantly be checking in with them, and they'd be a little frustrated, but they'd still be like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to do this whenever you are." And I just tried to make them happy, but they what they were really doing was trying to make me happy, because the fact that they stayed there after all of what was
Oh
happening,
yeah, 1000%.
it means so much, because honestly, our lead actors were the people who were there constantly, and we had some scheduling problems where they would stay, or they would show up probably an hour early, and they would show their frustration, but they would still stay there and do their job, because I can't even explain why they would do something like that. It
These
personally makes no sense to me.
No, they were consummate professionals. Like literally, it's like that's like I think that they're at it. Like the way they which they carry themselves throughout the production
Hmm.
was so professional, and I have nothing but grace and amazing things to share about them because they were willing to put up with us, and I think those are going to be great actors.
Yes.
Further down the road, they already are, but
Hmm.
like just the fact that they were able to, I think this they such a strong foundation, and I think I can't all I do is I like to say all I do is literally stand behind cameras. That's literally all. That's all I did for Aletheia,
Yeah.
or Aletheia and multiple choices. Like that's all I did.
Yeah, especially Patrick, like Patrick, who's played Harry. He
Yeah.
is like he's surprisingly good because like I was like he was so originally Max was the one who played Harry, and then no, at least
Just for
actors.
context, so you hit so Alex is kind of was supposed to be a short, you know, ethnically ambiguous person or lady,
And also,
and
yeah, played by
and
a woman. My
played by a
bad.
woman, and all of a sudden, our Harry was kind of the comic relief,
Hmm.
and for Max to switch from comic relief to lead actor was very very drastic, and I'm so grateful. Shout out, that's my roommate too. Shout
In
out
a very
Max.
short
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
It's,
Max is the
it,
bee's knees, dude. I worked with him
Max
on
is the homie.
Clavitas, and
it's
that was my first time really being like so mesmerized by a performance by one of my actors. I just was like super impressed when we were on Proclivitas, and when I personally spoke to him and was like, I need you to audition for this film that I'm working on, and it was not a hard choice to cast him for Harry. And then when he made that adjustment to Alex, that was genuinely impressive. And for Patrick to come on the last day, or on the first day, sorry, of
No,
production. And
no. For context, we had like what we had maybe a month of pre-production getting ready
yeah,
to shoot this.
he was there
He
for none
missed.
of
It was not for none of it.
it.
Came
And
in. You're the funny guy.
yep.
It's a really rudimentary way of saying it, but
Hmm.
you're the funny guy, and he
He
got
nailed
it.
it. I mean, he
Kick
nailed
knocked
it.
it apart.
It's crazy, and I don't want to. If my actors are listening to this, I want to talk about Noah.
Gotta
And,
show them
and
way. So, Noah is so that. Can we talk? Okay, if we talk about Noah, we gotta talk about how handsome this man is. I think
yeah.
first and foremost, that man looks
that
I,
good.
I
Hold
remember
no,
we
on.
were
that
at one of our
depends.
first auditions, and PJ was stalking his Instagram for some reason, and Noah's a
No,
model.
no, no,
No,
no.
hey, no, that's called research. It's called research.
Yeah, I
Research.
just
Make sure to
like,
like those photos too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just like checking his background essentially.
And he sees this picture of Noah doing work for his modeling gigs, and he's got his shirt off, and he's like, "Wow, you have a six pack," and all of us are just like, "All right."
That's PJ. No, PJ will say the first thing that pops into his mind. I love this dude, bro.
No, I mean
He's like,
that's
oh wow, six pack, crazy.
yeah, no, seriously, and he's like showing it to
That's
everybody,
hard
and I'm
work
like,
right there.
that's dope. I fuck with it, but like, I don't know. I just thought that interaction between PJ and Noah Wolf was just fucking hilarious. And I also want to talk about, for a quick second, when Noah showed up to his audition, and he couldn't quite understand PJ's accent. Because for everybody meeting PJ, it's always like, I'm sorry, what? Like, oh,
No, this man is
This doesn't
it's a
make any
mix.
sense, right?
It's a mix of Australia. It's like it's Vietnamese, but you got a little bit of Australian in there.
the list in there too. It's there's a lot going on, and you can really quickly get a grasp of what he's saying. But that first 5 minutes, you're like, I don't know what this dude is saying. And so when PJ introduces himself to Noah, Noah thinks that his name is Pizza, and like I'm just
Can we
he
start?
talked.
Is that a new nickname? Can we start calling him Pizza?
No,
No,
fuck off.
PJ's nickname is P Jesus right now, man.
Oh, P Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I'm literally the Jesus of the project right now. Like every project.
Okay, there goes his
Like in
ego.
post production, I have to
Oh
like
yeah,
carry
no,
the
never
whole
mind, never
thing.
mind. He is. Oh yeah, no, this man's carrying the cross on his back right now.
seriously no, but Noah was telling me after he had that fuck up, and he was like, "Oh, I lost the part right there. I literally just called my director pizza when I first met him." So that I just think that was a really
Honest mistake.
yes, very honest mistake. I mean, when we were having that conversation after the Aletheia screening, and I was talking to PJ, there was like a solid minute where I was like, I don't know what this guy is saying right now. I don't know what is happening. But then I
The,
kind of got
the,
the grasp, and
the thing is
I
that
actually,
me with my actions that
Mhm.
it doesn't make any sense because like sometimes I speak like freaking no Vietnamese American accents,
Right,
but
right,
sometimes I speak in the Vietnamese Australians. Like
yeah, yeah. We
it's like my accent doesn't make any sense. Like I
It's
act
not very.
like generally,
It's very inconsistent. It's very
no,
yeah,
inconsistent.
it really
generally I
is.
confuse a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it's a unique process, and we all give him a hard time for it on set and just kind of in person because we'll be like, the way he'll say like, is he'll hit that like, and it's pretty just
Loic,
like
loic.
it's
I
just
know.
something
Yeah.
we all can get behind. It's really funny.
Also, some people say dude. No, I know. I say bro and dude a lot. This man PJ stays with the guy. Obviously, it's the guy from that one movie or the guy.
Right.
The guy
Yeah.
said to me,
No, definitely. It's just one of those things that adds to why PJ is just such a surreal experience when working with him on set. You think that having an interaction with him in just the everyday life is unique. Have this guy be your director for a day, and you're going to be like, "Holy shit! That was more trippy than being on mushrooms." Honestly,
you
like
either love him or you hate him.
and you also walk away being like enlightened somehow. You're like, "Holy shit! I'm 10 times smarter somehow." That's dope. I fuck with
No,
that.
it's because PJ thinks he's smarter than you. That's his secret.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think that's the debate we get into most. If PJ's like Dylan, you're dumb. I'm like, if I'm done, then you are on a different level of
Yeah.
stupid, bro. No, but hey, no, okay. I want to derail this a little bit because I really want to talk about Jack. How we about you, Jackson,
Okay.
bro. Jackson, this man PJ. Remember when Jackson came in and pitched
Oh,
his
jeez.
Oh
incorporation, bro?
No. Yeah.
This man Jackson came in suit and tie, bro.
Yeah.
Suit and tie. They was professional as hell, bro.
no,
Jackson's the first person I've ever given my signature to. I don't know what the hell he's doing with that. He has
it's
my
like
signature.
I think it's in the trash, honestly.
here's the thing
Oh,
is
thank
that
God.
like when he came in on a day where we just discussing the idea of the script.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, no, literally before we
Yeah,
had anything done.
yeah,
All right,
it's like
because we had Cam there. Shout out Cam Lewis. That's my boy. Cam Lewis helped us very influential in pre-production,
Mhm.
or not even pre-production, pre-production, bro.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
it's
But
like
yeah,
we were like in the room we were wearing like short shirt flip flops, and then
Yeah.
the freaking guy he came in with the freak with a fucking suit, and he handling us like no contract stuff like that. But the
contract.
irony of yeah, but the irony of it, the on set he doesn't give a fuck about contract.
He did not care. He's like, hey,
Like
I
like
just
but
needed this.
like I remember like on the contract said, all right, you have the freedom to do whatever you want on
Yeah.
set.
A
But
simplified version of what the contract said. It was just like, no matter what, all I want is you to put my company's name at the front of this film and at the end of this film. That is
yeah,
all I
the,
want.
the thing is that Jackson
He
is like
used us. He
he
wanted to use us.
like in my opinion he's like he's more fit to a director rather than the producer.
Hmm.
It's like he really like to put his thoughts into the film.
Yep.
And sometimes like sometimes it's funny, but sometimes like Dylan and I we just look at each other. We're like, oh, what the
If Jackson has an opinion, you're going to hear it.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I make myself loud and clear. Even on productions, that cipher that we worked on, Dylan. I was like, I don't even know most of the guys that are there, and I'm
Like
making.
we came in. No, Jackson came in on Oh yeah, I'll let you finish. I won't want to cut you off right back.
No, bro, I'm finished. You can go ahead, bro.
Oh
It's like a
no,
music video production.
Yeah, no, so we filmed. So I brought Jackson on to this project my friend Porter and I were doing. It was a cipher. It was a shy cipher video. Shout out my boy CJ. He was directing it. Shout out DC as well. You know, and we were talking. We were in talks about making this music video, this cipher project, and we were talking about, oh wait, we need someone to help, we need a producer. We need someone to help us with the budget. I'm like, oh, Jackson. He's like, I was like, oh, we need an AD as well. I'm like, oh, I literally know. Okay, I know an assistant director, producer, marketer, all of the above. I know it's Jackson. Jackson is the jack of all trades. He does everything.
No, I mean, I think my biggest fault when it comes to making movies is
You do too fucking much, bro.
I do way too much. I bite off way more than I can chew. And along the process of pre-production, you'll see me, just kind of being like, "Hey, I know I said I can do this shit, but I can't
I
really
got a
do it."
paper to. I got to do 1,000-word paper in less than 3 hours.
Yeah. No, I had to work on that 3,000 word paper after a script read, and it was like 11:30 when we finished the table read. But
Wait,
yeah, no,
what?
I'll
It was
take
for a
on a
class
lot.
project,
Yeah, it
PJ.
was for a class project. But no, as much as I think the biggest thing that I learned this semester was that I can be an assistant director, and it's something that I really enjoy, but also I can take on way too much, and also sometimes I just need to shut the fuck up. And I think those are some
Bro, don't
two.
we all?
Yeah.
Yeah, the things about Jackson is that on set he's like way different when he works with during post production. It's like he doesn't give like any crap during post production.
Right.
It's that it's like all right.
He does not care about it one bit. Jackson's
It's
like, I
like
don't want
all
to
right.
edit. I don't want to touch a computer, bro.
Yeah,
I'll go on Discord and
I don't
play
want to edit.
Fortnite
I
with you,
don't
but
want
I'm
to do
not gonna.
anything. It's like all right, just do whatever you need to do.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, I appreciate it because like that gives us a lot of time to polish the whole film.
Yeah.
It's it's so fun. I think like during multiple choice production, Jackson promised me, "Is that all right, bro? Can you pay for the catering today? I'll pay for a later day." And I paid for catering like I said roughly 14 days,
Yeah,
and
no,
like and
yeah,
that's
no,
like
I think I took care of catering. I took care of catering for the script read, the table read. I got pizza for
and
everybody.
and then like like I told him, bro, like these pizza cost me $20. Bro, I
Yeah.
mean, for students, not cheap.
Yeah.
And you just keep telling me it's fine,
Yeah,
man.
I'll get
I'll
it
pay
next
for it.
The
time. I'll
things
get it next
people will
time.
do if you feed them is crazy.
Yes,
That's all.
absolutely. No.
As long as you okay, people. It's like we got deep dish on the last couple. I think it's like
Yeah.
on those days where like we're it's the three of us. Really like butting heads and like trying to just iron out these problems. Like okay, right before we hit that doomsday button, we can have like a full on blow. It's like I think there was one day where we had to scrap everything. PJ was just like ripping his hair out,
Yeah,
just
and
like
I
trying to figure
we
out.
were
And Jackson, I was so done. Jackson was so done. PJ was ready to just. PJ was just stressed out, and
Mhm.
like all the second Blake came back with that deep dish, it was
Yeah.
nothing. Like it was like nothing happened.
Like it's
I
like
did.
I think like I think it's on our like fifth day. And
Yeah, no.
we were just having like an argument. It's like because I want my film to be this way, but Jackson just like no, it just doesn't make any sense. And we just keep having argument, and then like me and Jackson, we're like, all right, fuck it, just get some food. All right,
Yeah,
we
Yeah,
like, we haven't eaten anything for the whole day,
we
right.
talk
and
ourselves in circles.
everyone was like eating, and I'm still scratching my head. I don't know. I have to reorder like the blocking of the shot, and
Mhm.
then I was like. I didn't, and then I just took one piece of pizza, one slice of pizza, and that
Right.
was just enough for me. And
Mhm.
when I was eating it, I looked over there, like Dylan just like sitting in the corner, like with like a Subway sandwich, and just like hammering. Like
Yeah.
it's like the way that he eat the sandwich like this.
Whoa, whoa! Don't do that to me, bro.
For our
Nah,
people listening right now and not getting the visual aspect of this, you're very lucky to say the least. No, I remember. Yeah, I remember that argument. That was the big argument.
that's when everything changed.
That's definitely when everything changed. And where we were filming at the Columbia Student Center, there are these soundproof rooms where they're dead silent, and if you walk into them, they're for like recording, music and whatnot.
Yeah,
Uh,
music practice rooms.
and I remember, yes, the music practice rooms, and I remember just going in there while we finished our argument, and I'm just trying to cool off, and I just am sitting in there for like a solid 10 minutes, just like not saying a word, totally closing my eyes in like a full meditative state, just because I was heated. Dylan and myself and PJ were all just like trying to prove each other right and trying to figure out and trying to make this work, and I'm just like totally on this cooldown mode, and I totally forget to like get food and everything. And it's just like, but at the end of the day, we were eating our food, and we got back to production, and we figured it out. And somehow every fucking day we got out of production early or on time, and
Like that they
That
changed
was crazy.
everything.
No,
it
I
was
think
insane.
I remember like it's so yo okay. Shout out my AC Porter. Shout out my that's my boy. That's my brother right there.
Like,
Shout out Porter. Oh my goodness. I remember Porter was in the room with us. Just Porter's very soft spoken. Very
Mhm.
he's this man this dude's a monk basically. You
Yeah.
know, Porter just he does not this man just observes. He's crazy. You know, this man Porter, like I'm trying, like it's like you'll never see an emotion now. Porter's so level headed. We're all like blowing gaskets at each other, and Porter's just like, yeah, like I don't know. It's like yeah, we can do this. This is fine. Like I've been on worse
Mhm.
projects, you know.
No,
It's like, or you go up to him like Porter, how do you feel? I don't know, man. I'm literally so stressed. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but like it's just gonna get done.
no,
You know, it's gonna be
fucking,
fine.
we're all screaming our fucking, we're screaming like no fucking business, and then you ask Porter, what he thinks about this situation, and Dylan does a really good fucking example of him. He's just
yeah,
Yeah,
totally, he's stressed, yeah, but he's just
yeah.
kind
I'm
of
stressed. I don't know. It's.
like
so
I think like
quiet and
when
it's so chill.
I
And
think
then
like
that little
when we
sly
were
smile
eating
he has too.
lunch.
He says with a smile too. It's the funniest part.
Yeah, I think when we were eating lunch and I sit down with him, I talk. All right, I'm sorry, like for the arguments, like we didn't get in the same page, and he was like, hey man, I wish that I wish that I'm passionate like you guys, but I'm just here for get the job done.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that man's bro. Dude's a soldier.
Yeah, seriously.
That's my right hand man. I don't okay. We quite I think if we're talking about if we were we even we can't, we got I gotta give just one last thing about Porter. We this whole film when it's we couldn't have done this without him. That man
Oh my
running
gosh.
an entire like
Yeah. No, he had
dude's
a
running an
entire
entire
production
no, but
studio
even
in his back pocket,
exact
practically.
dude just walk that Pelican case, bro. Oh my god, oh bro.
Yeah.
I think I didn't really work out much a lot my first like that last semester, but all
Mhm.
the walking we did with those
Oh my
heavy
goodness.
ass bags, my
We would
legs look so good, bro. Like it's
we
not even
don't have any
funny.
cars or anything, and we would take the trains, but everything had a walk in it.
Yep,
You weren't taking trains from one location to the other location. You would walk to your train, take your train, and then walk another mile practically to
minimum.
your other
Yeah,
location minimum. Uh, that Pelican case and every prop and every piece of equipment has seen so many things. If they could tell stories, this
miles.
podcast
Oh
would
my
be
goodness, yeah.
insane. And I mean, like they've been through so much stuff. And Porter's a chill guy. So when we would, when he would say us, banging around the the equipment that we had, he'd let us know very soft spoken, like, hey man, just be careful with that we can't, we don't want to be breaking this shit. Instead, I
Yeah,
feel
the
like
camera's three
that was
thousand
my
dollars.
exactly.
No, no,
Saw
no,
that shit
no, no, no,
happening, I'd lose my shit. I'd be like, "Yo, fucking be careful with that, please. It's $3,000." It
no,
just
no. It's not $3,000.
I
The
know, but
whole
it's a little
the whole
exaggeration.
set is
Yeah,
yeah,
five. It's $5,000.
yeah,
right,
dude. Yeah,
yeah,
It's
shout out.
like
No, big shout out to Porter, bro.
yeah.
like
Seriously,
at some shot, I was like, Potter, are you sure you can
Mad
do this?
love. You got
He was
mad
like,
love for Tape Slate
yeah.
Productions.
yep,
He was like, no, it's just leave it on me.
yep. All right, guys. Well, we're reaching an hour, and I don't want to make this super long, but I just want to thank you
Have fun
guys.
editing this one, bro.
Yeah, thank you. But I just want to say thanks, guys, for coming. This is actually the first one that I've recorded with multiple people, and this was obviously we had our technical difficulties, but I think this went pretty well. So thanks for coming. We've got PJ and Dylan. cinematographer and director of Multiple Choices and Aletheia. Go watch Aletheia. And God, if you guys ever want to work with these guys, just contact them at their Instagrams. I think it's Dylan TD21 and then Peter J. And then you can just contact me. But thanks, guys. Don't forget your shirts at areajb.com, areajbfilms.com, and we'll see you. All right.